Welcome. Today, I'd like to talk about meaning. Specifically, is there meaning in the universe? Is there meaning in our lives and in our existences? Throughout much of history, the assumption has been, yes, we've looked to our respective religions or philosophies and our gods and our cosmic histories. They've said, God has a plan for us. God made us in a certain way. This is the way the world is. This is why we're here. This is what we're doing. This is what the purpose of life is. A higher power wills it. The universe exists as part of a divine plan. We have to live good lives so that we might become one with God. We have to do God's work on earth. We have to advance the cause of the powers of light over the powers of darkness. We have to free ourselves from the world. But in this modern era, that security has, in some respects, gone away. There are questions raised. How do we know that there is this higher plan or purpose? What evidence do we have of that? And for some, the evidence is found lacking. It's easy in the face of modern science to doubt away all the mystical endowments of purpose that people have given to the world. Maybe life is just a series of swirling particles in a vacuum, blinking in and out of existence. We come together for a period of time when we're born and we live and then we die. And there's no higher meaning, no greater cause behind that. And the question is this just meaningless? What is meaning? Meaning is a way of looking at the information contained in something. If I were to write down a symbol that no one understood, that I didn't understand, it's just a random configuration of lines. You could describe the way the lines are configured, but that conveys no information to anyone other than literally what it is. A letter, on the other hand, or a character or a number, those have meaning because you can look at it and you can see what it is, but it's more than just what it is. You can describe the way the lines are and how they are configured with respect to each other, but it also signifies to us a sound, just as a numerical symbol symbolizes to us a number like 1 or 2. It has more information contained in it than just its actual configuration. That has some significance to someone somewhere. It signifies something other than itself. If something it has meaning, it contains information other than itself. So the question becomes, do our lives signify anything other than just ourselves? Imagine that there's nothing. We don't exist. Not only do we not exist, the earth doesn't exist. In fact, the universe doesn't exist. The cosmos, whatever the greatest structure there is of existence in the universe, whatever is out there, it just never came into being. In fact, never came into being is kind of a misnomer here because there's no span of time. Nothing ever happened. In fact, there's no timeline, so we can't say never. It's not as if some observer could just sit and watch nothing happening because there is no observer and there's no time in which to happen. The whole universe is just a non-occurrence. There is literally nothing. And when you think about it, you realize it's really quite a simple configuration of things. There's no information, no decisions had to be made, no complexity whatsoever. There is just nothing. Nothing ever happens. Nothing ever existed. Nothing will ever come into existence. There's just nothing. We have no good reason for there to be something. Why is there anything? Why is any of it there? Why should anything exist? What reason is there for stuff to exist? Now you can say, thing A was caused by thing B. I was brought into existence by my parents, who were brought into existence by their parents, who were brought into the existence by theirs, and we were brought into existence by a process of evolution that took us from apes, and those apes came from, ultimately, things like fish and monocellular organisms, which came into existence from swirling organic chemicals, and which in turn came into existence from, well, all non-hydrogen atoms come from stars, and stars comes from hydrogen, and hydrogen comes from the Big Bang. The Big Bang comes from somewhere. Why is any of it there? It's all a chain of causality, but why does that chain even exist? It could easily not exist. It's conceptually possible that there would be simply nothing, and yet there is something. And the fact that there is something rather than nothing is, to me at least, a big deal. All of this could not be here, and yet it is. We're here, even though we might not have been. Everything, every flower and every star and every person signifies that existence is real, that there is not nothing, when there so well could have been. Each person signifies the triumph of existence over non-existence, of something over nothing. We are each in ourselves glorious reflections of the fact that there is a universe. We are signposts in a path that might lead nowhere, saying, in fact, it does lead somewhere. It leads here. You show that amongst all the conceptual possibilities, we live in a universe where there are things. And that is a significance that is more than you. That is a significance that has profound meaning for everything. So in this way, our existence has inherent meaning. The question of whether there is some higher, deeper meaning, whether there's some purpose behind our lives, that's another good question. And that I don't know the answer to. But I do know that we don't need that. We don't need some secret destiny. Our lives are a testament to existence. Our lives say, we are. We exist. And the fact that we're here is so monumental. Because you think of what the difference between there being absolutely nothing and there being something is, and it's like the difference between 0 and 1. 1 is infinitely more than 0. You could add 0 upon 0 upon 0 upon 0 upon 0 for all eternity, and you still wouldn't get 1. So the fact that we exist, the fact that we are not nothing, that is miraculous and wonderful and deeply meaningful. We might have not been, and yet here we are. Everything that is, for the mere fact of existing, is nothing short of a miracle. We are full of meaning.